Me that they have a little bit of unfinished business. We fell 4 wins short last year, so we're thinking World Series this year. How about that?
Yeah!
Woo! Well, on behalf of the Detroit Tigers, we are extremely excited to be at Royal Oak Middle School here to talk about the important topic of bullying, and thanks to Superintendent Lewis Lakin, the Royal Oak Public Schools, Attorney McQuaid, and the U.S. Attorney's Office for hosting today's event. We'd also like to thank our caravan sponsors, Fox Sports Detroit and Pure Michigan. Now, you guys really don't want to sit there and listen to me talk all day, so I'll probably need a couple special guys. How about that? Think back to the playoffs last year. Jose Valverde was the Tigers' closer. He had a little bit of trouble, so Jim Leland needed someone to step in and do the job to close out ball games, and boy did he. He gave up just 1 run in 10 and a third innings in the postseason. Please welcome left-hander Phil Cope. The Tigers are very fortunate to have a really good offensive team. You know a lot of the names, of course, Miguel Cabrera, Victor Martinez is coming back this year, Austin Jackson. There, say hi, Phil.
Hi.
There's one other big name. Wait till your teammate gets out here, okay? There's one other big name. He had 30 home runs last year. Spent part of his childhood here in Detroit growing up. Please welcome Prince Fielder. Pretty awesome. That's a nice welcome. We appreciate it. At this time, we're going to turn things back over to Attorney McQuaid for a brief question and answer session about bullying.
Thanks very much, Mario. Well, we're so glad you're here. You know, gentlemen, we've had a couple of our students identify you as their favorite Tigers. So we're really especially excited that you're here with us today. You know, I used to play a little baseball myself. So this year, if you need maybe a backup shortstop, I would be available. So just keep that in mind. But we want to talk today about bullying. And, you know, Phil, I know you and I met earlier last year when we were speaking on the Attorney General's Task Force on defending childhood. And you spoke very beautifully that day about your experiences with bullying. Can you tell the kids a little bit about an experience you might have had with bullying and what you did in that situation?
Let's see here. When I was younger, I wasn't a very big kid. I was lucky enough to actually grow up to be as big as far as height goes as my dad. So I went from one of the smaller kids in class to one of the bigger kids, so that was good. But I was a guy, even in high school, I was smaller than a lot of guys that are much bigger than now. So let me think here. In high school, here's a good one. Wrestling. I wrestled, I played football, and I played baseball. And in wrestling, my older brother, as a matter of fact, was just a little bit stronger than me. And he tried to take advantage of that in the wrestling room because he had his other classmates with him. And what they did is they all came and ganged up on all the freshmen, which I happened to be one of those guys at the time. And they gave me what's called a pink belt. Where, you get held down and a pink belly. You get held down and you can't move because you have like 5 guys sitting on each arm and each leg. So you've got like 15, 20 people on you at one time. And they all lick their hair and slap your stomach as hard as they can. Well, they welted me up really bad. And, I mean, in a team sport, okay, it's kind of like an initiation thing, but it's still the same thing. It's still bullying. It's still people ganging up on somebody who isn't able to defend themselves in the proper fashion or aren't willing to put a stop to it by going out there and saying something about it. So that's really the best one I can think of off the top of my head.
And you're a big, strong guy. No one's tougher than you. And I know as a 12-year-old, you used to hit home runs out of Tiger Stadium when your dad was playing for the Tigers. Have you had any experiences with bullying?
Yeah, probably not as serious as this. But I mean, as a kid, I was a big kid, but you know, in all honesty, a lot of little kids picked on me. So for some reason, little kids always picked on me. You know, I get punched in the face. And, I come home crying. I get kicked in the shin. I be crying. You know, and it looks kind of funny if you see me being bigger than this kid and getting beat up every day. So, I mean, I think, and then I just, for me, I just told my mom and my dad, and they just told me to tell the teacher, and if it kept happening, I was all right to use my size just to make sure they get off me every now and then. But yeah, I mean, for some reason, I just got picked on by little kids. It was weird.
So, for both of you gentlemen, I guess, what advice would you give to kids when they're the victims of bullying? If a kid is being victimized, should they tell an adult? Unless, for instance, you talked about told your mom or dad. What should a kid do if they're a victim of bullying or they witness someone else being bullied?
Well, we were talking about it a little bit ago. The first thing you should do is obviously get the attention of the yard duty or your teacher or any of the adults that are in the surrounding area. And by getting their attention, not just let them know what's going on, but let them know how long it's been going on and tell them how it makes you feel. And that'll make them be more willing to step up and help you out rather than you're just complaining. You guys are playing kickball. It's not a big deal. You got the ball kicked in your stomach. Well, when you get the ball kicked in your stomach, it's not always an accident. Some people do that on purpose just because they like to pick on the big guy and they like to pick on the little guy. Unfortunately, that's the way it goes. But you have to make sure that you're willing to say something, speak up for yourself, because that shows inner strength to people that may not realize that that's there. So it's really within you and your desire to change what's going on. You have to really rely on yourself first and foremost to be able to force change to make it not happen.
Well, yeah. You said that pretty good. I mean, for me, I think you should tell someone just because you don't want to hold that all inside, because you never know when you hold something, when you hold, the feeling that bullying causes inside. I mean, you don't want that to accidentally, come out on somebody on accident, or you end up bullying somebody else because you're angry at being bullied. So you want to make sure you get that out just so it doesn't affect you and your character, so you don't carry that on and make someone else feel the same way you're feeling just because you're just lashing out out of pain.
We were just talking about favorite Tiger memories, and some of the kids identified the moment when you were both on the field, when you threw the pitch, the Yankees hit the pop-up, and Prince called everybody off like crazy and caught the pop-up, and we had one young man out there reenacted for us. It was a beautiful moment that we all remember. So thanks. Marty, I want to ask you as a parent, what can parents do to help kids and to help stop bullying?
Well, when I was in high school, I got bullied a little bit, and it's funny because those kids that bullied me now call me and ask me for Tigers tickets, and I tell them they're not available. But the bullying that I went through in high school was mostly verbal as opposed to physical. But the one thing I tell kids, whether it's my kids or anybody else, is that the best way to combat that is just laugh at their jokes, because that pretty much disarms them. If you're laughing at the jokes they're making about you, all of a sudden they're not funny to them anymore, and it just diffuses the whole situation. But I think it's important for parents to be involved and to ask questions. One of the first things that my wife and I do when our kids come home from school, and we've done this since they were really small, is we ask them how their day was at school, and we make them go class by class and tell us how the day was. And we can tell at that point if something's bothering our kids or if there might be something wrong. And if we notice something, we might ask them a little bit more and delve a little further into that. And sometimes you get some information that your kids are embarrassed to share with you. When I got bullied in school, in high school, I didn't want to tell anybody because I was embarrassed about it. But in retrospect, I wish I would have, because something probably could have been done. So I definitely tell parents to be as involved as you can with your kid's day, and make them tell you what they did at school, and try to get a better feel for how their day went.
So last question for Prince and Phil. The bystander. If you're not the bully and you're not the victim, but if you're just the bystander, what can a bystander do to stop bullying?
That's easy. If you would, see someone getting bullied, that should be, you got to help them out. Obviously, if you're seeing someone being bullied, it's not right, and it's probably, unless you're a part of it. It's not obviously, the person getting bullied isn't feeling right. They're probably sad, or probably starting to cry at this point. So, help them out. Just tell someone. Tell a teacher, tell any adult that's around, or even, you can go in and just, tell the bullier that what he's doing is, or what he or she's doing is not, probably not nice. So, just doing that alone will, not only make the person being bullied feel better, it'll make you feel better as well, because you're helping someone out and you're standing up for what's right.
Thanks so much, gentlemen. We really appreciate all that the Tigers are doing to combat bullying and raise awareness to this issue, and we really appreciate you being here today. And I really want to thank you for raising awareness, because we want our kids to be happy and healthy so that we can come out and cheer the Tigers on. So thank you so much. And now I'm going to turn it over to Mario to talk a little baseball.
You guys want to talk some baseball?
Yeah!
We've got a couple of questions that I'm going to ask both Prince and Phil about the team, and then we have some questions from some of our youngsters in attendance here today, and we'll get some answers from both Phil and Prince. And Phil, we'll start with you. Last year, obviously, was an exciting season for the Tigers. You got to the World Series. What, if you could pinpoint one thing in last year, was the most exciting game or the most exciting moment for you?
Crushing the Yankees.
Pretty short and sweet right there. Doesn't get better than crushing the Yankees, I suppose. Prince, one of the things that I noticed watching you play every day that I didn't notice watching you maybe on TV or when I watched some Brewers games when you were with Milwaukee is that you play the game extremely hard every single inning of every single day. And the other thing is you play every day. There aren't too many guys who go out there 162 times every single season. Is that always been part of your makeup that, hey, look, I'm making some pretty good dough here, maybe I should go out there every day?
Yeah, that's the way, any job. I just feel if I'm not, if nothing's broke, I'm not bleeding, I'm not sick, or even if I'm sick, I'm still going to play. But if it's not broke or bleeding, there's really no excuse. You can't say you're tired, because that's just not an excuse, in my opinion. So, plus I love to play. I don't like to watch, my team out there without it. It's not a good feeling. You feel like, it's a feeling probably like if you thought you left the iron on or something. It's a weird feeling. Not playing. So I just, like I said, I love to play, and and the reason why I play so hard is because there was one time I didn't. For some reason, I was being a brat and didn't want to run the ball out. And Robin Young, the Hall of Famer, Milwaukee, he grabbed me by the collar and he said, I love you, right? I was like, yeah, I know what's going on, but right now you're choking me. He's like, I'm gonna try to put this. He said, you don't ever do that. If you want to be a good player, if you want, your other players to respect you, like you as a person, and just as a player, you want to play this game hard. And so ever since then, I just want to make sure I play hard because I don't want to get choked.
Yeah.